Section 13 of Stories from God's Holy Book by Josephine Looney. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Therese. The Magi. Starlight, star bright, first star seen tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight, sang Patricia as she looked out of the evening sky. I wish I had a plane, said Bobby, who stood beside her. I'd fly all over the sky. I'd fly right up to that star. You couldn't, Patricia declared. It's 1,000,000,000,000 miles away. Isn't it, Joe? Well, replied Joe, it's too far to fly to, anyway, but it's near enough to make us happy with its twinkle, and it's near enough to guide travelers. If you were on a journey and lost your way, you could tell the right direction by the stars. Above the stable door of your Christmas crib you see a large star. It stands for the star that guided some travelers when Jesus was born. That is a very wonderful story. Tell it, ordered both children. Do you remember, Joe began, what we said about Daniel? He lived hundreds of years ago. He was taken away to a country in the east called Babylonia. He always followed God's law. God was pleased with him and told him just when the Messiah would be born. Daniel told the people in the east about the Messiah. Most of them forgot, but the wise men in the east remembered. These men were called Magi. Before they died, they told other wise men about the Messiah, and these told others, and so on. They knew when the Messiah would come, and they knew that at the time he was born a certain star would rise in the eastern sky. Now at last the Messiah had been born, and far away in the east 3 Magi said to each other, "There is the star of the Messiah. Let us go to the land of the Jews and worship him." The star began to move toward Palestine. The wise men followed. They were rich men. Some say they were kings. So they had camels to ride on and could travel quickly. They took along other camels to carry food and baggage. Week after week they followed the star. It led them through burning deserts, over steep mountains, down into cool green valleys. At last the star stopped over the city of Jerusalem. Then it disappeared. "Why?" asked Patricia. "Listen," said Joe. "The Magi went to the palace of King Herod and asked where the newborn Messiah was. 'We have seen his star in the east,' they told Herod, 'and have come to worship him.' Now Herod was a bad king. He did not follow God's law. He did not know or care about the Messiah. So he called his wise men together to see if they could answer the question of the Magi." "Could they?" Bobby wanted to know. "Yes," answered Joe. "They had read the writings of the prophets. They knew the Messiah would be born in the town of Bethlehem." "Was that far away?" Patricia inquired. "No, it was only a few miles away. So the Magi left Jerusalem and continued their journey. Before they left, Herod said to them, 'When you have found the Messiah, come and tell me where he is. I want to go and worship him too.' Herod did not really mean this, but wait and see what happened. When the Magi left Jerusalem, the star appeared again. It went before them until it stood right over the stable where baby Jesus was lying. Both children turned to look at the crib. There above the stable door shone the large, bright star. The Magi went in where Jesus was, continued Joe, and knelt down and adored him. Then they gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. "I know what gold is," said Patricia, "but what are the other 2? "They are sweet perfumes and spices which were very precious in the olden days," Joe explained. "Did the Magi go back to Herod?" Bobby asked. "No," Joe replied. "An angel appeared to them and told them not to. You see, Herod was afraid Jesus would be made king when he grew up. Herod wanted to be the only king in the land. So what he meant to do was kill Jesus. But the Magi obeyed the angel. They went home by another road. They did not go back to Jerusalem. They did not tell Herod where Jesus was. Herod was very angry when the Magi did not return. He did not know exactly where Jesus was or exactly how long he had been alive. So this wicked king said to his soldiers, 'Go to Bethlehem and kill all the little boy babies under 2 years of age. Then you will be sure to kill the Messiah.'" "I'd have killed Herod if I had been one of the soldiers," Bobby declared. "Tell us what happened to Jesus," begged Patricia. Joe continued her story. An angel came to Joseph in the middle of the night. He told him of this terrible danger. He said that Joseph must take Jesus and Mary to Egypt and stay there until God sent him a message to return. So Joseph woke Mary that very moment. He put her and baby Jesus on their donkey. They packed up the little bundle of things they would need. They began the journey into Egypt at once. "Did they stay there long?" asked Bobby. "They stayed in Egypt until Herod died. Then God sent another angel to tell them it would be safe to return home," Joe answered. End of chapter 13.